Being wise and being seen as wise are not the same. People might laugh at you, doubt you, or completely misunderstand your actions. But true wisdom is knowing what you're doing and staying calm even when the world questions you. Success doesn't come from applause or attention. It comes from patience, quiet confidence, and the ability to make the right choice at the right time. Today's story is a powerful reminder of that. In a faraway kingdom, there lived a wise minister. He was the chief advisor to the king, someone with answers to every problem. The king trusted him deeply and wouldn't make any important decision without first asking him. This, however, made others in the royal court jealous. They couldn't openly challenge the minister, but in their hearts they disliked how much the king depended on him. One day, the king called the minister and said, "You are very wise, but your son, he seems quite foolish. I don't think he understands anything." The minister was surprised. "Your Majesty, why do you say that? What makes you think my son is foolish?" The king replied, "Every morning when I go out to walk among the people, I see your son there. And every day I ask him the same question. Which is more valuable, gold or silver? And every day he answers, 'Silver.'" The court burst into laughter. The minister stood there silently, embarrassed. Without saying a word, he left for home. At home, he asked his son, "Tell me honestly, which is more valuable, gold or silver?" Without any hesitation, the son replied, "Gold, of course." The minister looked at him puzzled. "Then why do you tell the king every day that silver is more valuable?" The boy calmly answered, "Father, every morning the king places 2 coins in front of me, 1 gold and 1 silver. Then he says, 'Take whichever is more valuable.' I always pick the silver coin," and he laughs and walks away. The minister frowned. "But why? Why do you keep picking the silver coin and giving the wrong answer? Today the whole court laughed at you." The boy smiled and gently took his father's hand. He led him into his room and opened a small wooden box. Inside, it was filled with silver coins, dozens of them, all neatly stacked. The minister was stunned. "Where did you get all these?" The boy replied, "These are the coins the king gave me, 1 every day. If I ever take the gold coin and say the correct answer, the king will realize that I know the truth. He'll stop asking me the question, and once he stops, I won't get any more coins. I'd rather earn a silver coin every day than take a gold one once and lose everything." He paused and added, "The king laughs because he thinks I'm silly, but I know what I'm doing. I'm not just collecting coins, I'm building patience, keeping quiet, and thinking long-term. That's something not everyone understands." The minister looked at his son with pride. In that moment, he realized sometimes true intelligence looks like foolishness to the world. But the wise don't need to prove themselves. Their actions speak for them. From that day on, whenever someone called his son foolish, the minister would simply smile and walk away, because he knew only those with true wisdom could see what others couldn't. In real life, you'll meet 2 kinds of people: those who do little and talk big, and those who do great things but remain silent. The minister's son quietly made smart decisions for his own benefit. He didn't show off. He didn't try to prove anyone wrong. He just stayed focused. So if you know what you're doing is right, let people say what they want. One day your results will speak louder than their opinions. If this story inspired you, give it a like and share your thoughts in the comments. That helps more people see it.
Have you ever encountered someone making a decision that, at first glance, seemed utterly irrational, maybe even a bit silly, only for it to reveal itself as, well, a stroke of quiet genius much later on? Or perhaps you've been in that situation yourself, where you felt deep down you were on the right track, building something diligently while everyone around you just dismissed it, said it was a waste of time, maybe even outright foolishness. It's a fascinating paradox, isn't it?
It really is.
Because often the kind of wisdom that truly lasts, the kind that delivers profound results, it looks Well, it looks profoundly different from what our immediate social circles or, the prevailing culture might deem smart or successful.
Yeah, it doesn't always wear the obvious costume.
Exactly. So today on the deep dive, our mission is really to peel back the layers of this exact paradox. We're delving into this really profound narrative from our sources. It's aptly titled The Silver Coin's Silent Wisdom.
I like that title.
It's great, isn't it? And this isn't just some charming fable. It's basically a masterclass in strategic patience, internal conviction, and the often misunderstood power of long-term thinking. We're going to try and uncover why genuine lasting success rarely announces itself with, immediate fanfare.
Right, no trumpets usually.
No trumpets. Instead, it often emerges from what might appear to be unconventional, quiet, maybe even humble choices. So to really get this, let's immerse ourselves in the scene a bit. Picture a kingdom, okay? Vibrant, full of life, but also, simmering with the intricate politics of a royal court.
Always the court politics.
Always. And at the heart of this court was a minister, revered for his wisdom, the king's chief advisor. His counsel guided the kingdom. His experience shaped vital decisions. His integrity, unquestioned. He was the kind of person the king trusted implicitly, leaned on heavily. His judgment was rarely, if ever, second-guessed.
That's a powerful position to be in.
Hugely powerful. And as you can imagine, that position, that influence, and the king's unwavering confidence, well, it naturally cultivated some quiet resentment among other courtiers.
Sure, jealousy is almost inevitable there.
Exactly. They couldn't openly challenge him, but their jealousy just brewed beneath the surface, whispering doubts, looking for cracks in his otherwise unblemished reputation. And this is where our story really kicks off, this fascinating interplay between public perception and a very different hidden reality. So one morning, the king, maybe swayed a little by these subtle murmurs in his court, calls the minister to his side, and his expression is one of genuine concern. "My dear minister," the king starts, "you are, without doubt, the wisest man in my kingdom, but I must confess, your son."
Uh-oh.
Yeah. He seems to lack even the most basic understanding. He strikes me as quite foolish. The minister, completely blindsided, understandably surprised, asks, "Your Majesty, what leads you to such a conclusion? What has my son done?"
A fair question.
Right. And the king's observation was specific, like a daily ritual he'd noticed. "Every morning," he says, "as I take my walk amongst the people, I see your son. I offer him a simple choice. I present him with a gold coin and a silver coin, and I ask, which of these is more valuable? And every single day, without fail, he picks the silver coin and proclaims it the more valuable of the two."
Wow. Okay. What's immediately striking about that situation is how quickly the external judgment just solidified into a verdict.
Yeah.
Right? The sources describe the court, hearing the king's account, just erupting into laughter.
Oh, I can picture it.
Yeah. And the minister, despite his own wisdom, he's just left standing there in silent mortification. It's such a stark illustration of, what psychologists might call confirmation bias at play.
How so?
Well, the king, maybe already nudged by those court whispers, expected foolishness from the son. So the son's seemingly illogical choice. It instantly confirmed that expectation.
Oh, okay. He saw what he expected to see.
Precisely. And we see how easily the consensus of a group, the court's laughter, acts as this powerful social proof. It reinforces a collective, often really superficial, assessment of wisdom or intelligence. The pressure to just conform, to give the correct answer, even with something as simple as gold versus silver, it becomes immense. It shapes public perception and, unfortunately, often just buries deeper truths.
That pressure, that collective dismissal. Yeah, it must have felt like a crushing weight on the minister. He left the court without a word, just driven by this urgent need to understand. He couldn't let such a grave accusation stand, especially knowing his son was generally pretty thoughtful.
Right. Wouldn't have fit.
No. So upon reaching home, he immediately confronted his son, his voice probably laced with concern. "Tell me honestly, my son, which is truly more valuable, gold or silver?"
Yeah.
The air must have been thick with anticipation.
Yeah, you lean in for the answer there.
But the son, looking his father directly in the eye, replied with complete composure, "Gold, of course." Right, so he knew. He wasn't ignorant. He wasn't genuinely confused about basic economics.
Okay, that changes everything.
Totally changes it. It transforms the apparent foolishness into something far more intriguing. The minister, now even more perplexed, naturally pressed further. "Then why, my son? Why do you consistently tell the king, and the entire court apparently, that silver is more valuable? Why subject yourself to their ridicule?"
And this is exactly where the deep dive really begins, isn't it? We're compelled to ask, why? Why would someone of sound mind deliberately choose an action that brings public scorn, especially when they know the correct answer.
Yeah, what's an angle?
It strongly suggests a hidden strategy,
Right.
a deliberate, calculated approach that goes way beyond just superficial appearances. So this raises a crucial analytical question. What deeper, more complex purpose could this seemingly counterintuitive behavior possibly serve? What benefits could possibly outweigh that immediate social cost of being seen as foolish?
And the son's explanation. This is where the true brilliance of the story and the wisdom in our sources really shines. He calmly laid out his reasoning for his father, this ingenious long-term play. "Father," he explained, "every morning, the king, just like you said, places 2 coins before me, 1 gold, 1 silver, and tells me, take whichever is more valuable. I always choose the silver coin." He paused, apparently with this faint, knowing smile, adding, "The king then laughs, along with his courtiers, because they think I'm simple-minded, and then he leaves."
Okay.
The minister, still a bit bewildered, pressed him again. "But why endure such public humiliation? Today the whole court laughed openly at you."
And if we connect this to, say, principles of strategic thinking or even behavioral economics, the son's rationale isn't just clever, it's like a masterclass in understanding incentives and playing the infinite game, so to speak.
Infinite game. How so?
Well, he explained to his father quite simply, if I were ever to take the gold coin and state the correct value, the king would immediately realize I'm not actually foolish.
Right, the jig would be up.
Exactly. He would then stop asking the question altogether, because the joke would be over. And once he stops asking, the son says, I won't receive any more coins.
Ah.
See, it shows this really sophisticated understanding that the immediate obvious win, that single gold coin, can often shut down a continuous stream of smaller but cumulatively more valuable opportunities.
It's delayed gratification.
Absolutely. Classic delayed gratification. And valuing a sustainable process over just a fleeting moment of validation or being seen as right, he grasped that the long-term benefit of a daily silver coin far outweighed the short-term satisfaction of a one-time gold coin and the end of a pretty profitable game for him.
And to make his point absolutely undeniable, to literally show his father the fruits of this perceived folly, the son then took his father's hand and led him into his room. There, he opened the small, unassuming wooden box, and what the minister saw inside was, well, astounding.
Let me guess.
The box was filled with silver coins, dozens of them, all neatly stacked. This wasn't just a clever theory anymore.
Wow. Tangible proof.
Tangible, undeniable proof. A shining, jingling testament to the quiet, consistent accumulation that came from his seemingly foolish daily choices. Every single coin was like a silent rebuke to the court's laughter.
That visible evidence really brings the son's philosophy to life, doesn't it? He articulated his strategy with such profound clarity. He said, I'd rather earn a silver coin every day than take a gold one once and lose everything.
Simple but powerful.
Incredibly. He wasn't just piling up coins, he was practicing this profound form of self-discipline. He elaborated, saying something like, the king laughs because he thinks I'm silly, but I know what I'm doing. I'm not just collecting coins, I'm building patience, cultivating quiet confidence, and rigorously practicing long-term thinking.
That's the core of it.
That's the core, he adds. That's a level of understanding and commitment not everyone possesses, especially in a world that often prizes immediate gratification. And this is the insight our sources really want us to grasp. True wisdom often involves committing to a process that might look unconventional, inefficient, maybe even laughable to people who lack the foresight to see beyond the immediate reward.
It's about having your own internal scorecard.
Precisely. Instead of being driven by external applause.
What an absolutely astonishing revelation for the minister. You can just imagine his initial mortification completely transforming into this deep, swelling pride.
Oh, completely. A total reversal.
He understood right there in that powerful moment that sometimes true intelligence looks like foolishness to the world. But, and this is key, the truly wise don't need to prove themselves. Their actions over time speak far more eloquently than any boast or immediate declaration.
Yeah, it's not about the immediate declaration at all.
It's a realization that goes way beyond the value of coins. It's about the value of holding on to an internal conviction.
Absolutely. And the sources tell us that from that day forward, whenever the minister heard someone mocking his son's perceived foolishness, he wouldn't argue. He wouldn't correct them. He'd simply offer a knowing smile and continue on his way.
He was in on the secret.
He was in on the secret. He no longer felt the sting of external judgment because he held a deeper truth, a private understanding that others just couldn't access. And that beautifully underscores the power of internal validation over external approval. It's about building this robust sense of purpose and strategy that's basically immune to superficial criticism because you understand your own game. It means having the courage to be misunderstood in the short term for the sake of long-term success.
This story provides such a powerful lens, doesn't it? For viewing not just ancient kingdoms, but our own modern lives. Our sources capture this distinction so succinctly. In real life, you'll encounter two primary types of people.
Okay.
There are those who speak grandly and accomplish little, and then there are those who quietly achieve great things but remain silent about their process until their results are undeniable.
That rings very true. It isn't just a moral, it's almost a practical framework for understanding how success often unfolds. Indeed, the minister's son just exemplified this quiet, focused power. He wasn't interested in showing off, not at all.
No ego there.
Very little ego on display, certainly. He wasn't trying to prove anyone wrong in the moment. He simply stayed dedicated to his strategy. And this approach is profoundly applicable across, well, countless areas. Think about the early days of a startup, like Amazon's a classic example. They famously operated at a loss for years.
Right, reinvesting everything.
Reinvesting heavily in infrastructure, customer experience, while Wall Street analysts were constantly questioning its profitability. The critics saw foolishness, or at least recklessness.
Yeah, they wanted the gold coin now.
They want a gold coin. But Bezos saw the long-term play for market dominance, the stream of silver coins. Or think about the meticulous work of a scientific researcher toiling away for years on small incremental discoveries.
Things that don't make headlines.
Exactly. They don't make headlines initially. But eventually, those small steps contribute to a major breakthrough. They're collecting silver coins of data and understanding every single day.
It's such a potent reminder, especially in our, instant gratification culture. There's immense pressure for immediate visibility, for applause, for likes.
Oh, constantly.
We see it everywhere, social media metrics, quarterly earnings reports. But the truly disruptive innovations, the most enduring fortunes, the most profound personal developments, they often follow that silver coin strategy.
Yeah.
Think of a writer who spends years honing their craft in total obscurity before publishing a masterpiece.
Yeah, or an athlete dedicating themselves to the fundamentals, the boring stuff maybe.
Right, ignoring the flashy trends and then eventually just dominating their sport because their foundation is so solid.
And this approach also speaks to the deep psychological challenge of resisting that gold coin temptation.
Yeah.
We seem to be wired for immediate rewards. Behavioral economics talks about hyperbolic discounting.
Yeah,
Right.
explain that a bit.
It's basically our tendency to value present rewards much, much more highly than future rewards, even if the future rewards are objectively larger. Like getting $10 today feels better than getting $15 next week for many people.
Okay, I see.
The son in our story actively countered this innate bias. He understood that the compounding effect of consistent small gains, both in coins and, crucially, in character, would far outweigh the single fleeting joy of grabbing that gold coin. And that requires tremendous discipline, self-awareness, and a really strong internal locus of control. It's about not needing that external pat on the back to know your strategy is sound.
It also highlights the difference between managing reputation versus building actual value. So many people focus on how they appear to others, chasing titles, accolades, superficial metrics.
Optic.
Exactly, the optics. The son, though, focused entirely on building tangible value for himself. He allowed others to hold their misperceptions, knowing the ultimate truth would reside in his accumulated wealth and, just as importantly, his accumulated wisdom. It's a powerful lesson in distinguishing between true substance and just fleeting showmanship.
Exactly right. And like you said, this isn't just about money either. It applies to cultivating skills, building relationships, developing personal resilience. Each small act of learning, each consistent effort to connect with someone, each quiet moment of reflection, that can be a silver coin. These things don't always generate immediate praise or attention.
No, they're often invisible.
They're often invisible, but they compound over time, building this foundation of capability and character that is far more valuable ultimately than any instant recognition. But it demands deep trust in your own process and a willingness to withstand scrutiny, knowing that your internal compass is pointing true.
So the takeaway feels pretty clear. If you find yourself on a path where you know what you're doing is right, if you've meticulously thought through your strategy, if you're diligently building something significant for the long haul, then let people say what they want. Let them laugh. Let them doubt you. Let them chase their immediate gold coins.
Easier said than done sometimes, but yeah.
Oh, for sure. But the principle holds. Because one day, inevitably, your accumulated results, those stacks of silver coins, will not just speak louder than their opinions, they will utterly silence them.
That really is the enduring power of silent, strategic wisdom.
So to bring it all together then, the silver coin's silent wisdom is much more than just a simple moral tale. It feels like a blueprint, almost, for navigating a world that so often prioritizes that immediate gratification, that superficial validation.
Right.
It teaches us that true, profound success often requires this uncommon blend of quiet confidence, unwavering patience, and a really steadfast long-term vision. It demands the courage sometimes to appear unconventional, maybe even foolish to others in the short run.
While knowing deep down.
Yeah, while knowing deep down that you're accumulating real, lasting value. It's about building your reality through deliberate action and staying calm under the scrutiny of those who just can't see beyond the surface. Allowing your steady progress to define you rather than, fleeting external opinions.
What's truly fascinating here, and I think deeply relevant to our modern context, is how often we, collectively and individually, prioritize that immediate validation, that gold coin of instant praise or likes or a quick win.
We see it everywhere.
Everywhere. We prioritize that over the sustained, quiet progress that actually builds enduring wealth or skill or wisdom. And this raises, I think, an important question for you, our listener. Where in your own life might you be tempted to pick that immediate gold coin just for the quick applause, when maybe a steady, consistent stream of silver coins might actually build a more robust and lasting empire? And that could be literally in your endeavors or figuratively in your personal growth and capabilities.
That's a great question to sit with. So as you go about your day, maybe take a moment to reflect on how you define success and intelligence. Is it always about the loudest voice in the room, the most immediate reward, the most public recognition? Or could it be something quieter? A steady, consistent accumulation of value and wisdom understood perhaps only by you and maybe a select few who possess that similar discernment. What seemingly foolish or unconventional decision might you be making today, maybe in your career, your personal development, your investments, even your relationships, that's actually busy building your quiet, powerful empire for tomorrow? Think about the hidden wealth in those silver coins.